It's midnight on San Francisco Bay. The water is black and freezing cold. 3 men sit on a small raft. A raft is a small, flat boat. But this raft isn't a normal boat. It's made of raincoats. 50 stolen raincoats. Behind the men, there's an island. On that island, the most famous prison in America. A prison is a place where criminals must live locked inside. The men just escaped from it. Nobody had ever done that before. In front of them, 2 kilometers of dark, cold water. The men start to paddle, and then they disappear. Forever. This is a true story. It's one of the greatest mysteries in American history. A mystery is a question that nobody can answer. And this question is simple. Did these 3 men live or die? Welcome to True Crime English. Listen slowly. Read the words on the screen. Today's story has 10 special words. Can you find them all? Let's begin.
Alcatraz. Even the name sounds cold. Alcatraz was an island prison near San Francisco in America. People called it the Rock. It opened as a federal prison in 1934. America sent its most dangerous criminals there. Even the famous gangster Al Capone lived on the Rock. Why was Alcatraz special? Because escape was impossible. The prison stood on an island. Around the island, cold water and strong currents. A current is the strong movement of water in the sea. The currents around Alcatraz could pull a strong swimmer under. Inside, guards watched the prisoners day and night. A guard is a person whose job is to watch the prisoners. The guards counted the prisoners 12 times every day, 12 counts a day. Between 1934 and 1962, 36 men tried to escape. 36 men, 14 attempts. Every attempt failed, every single one. Some men were caught, some men were shot, and some men went into the water and never came back. The message was clear: nobody leaves the Rock. Then, in January 1960, a new prisoner arrived, Frank Morris. His name was Frank Morris. Morris was a bank robber, but he was also very, very smart. His IQ was 133, higher than most doctors. IQ 133. Morris grew up with no parents. He did his first crime at 13, and he had already escaped from other prisons. Soon after, 2 brothers arrived, John and Clarence Anglin. John and Clarence Anglin came from a poor farm family in Georgia. They were 2 of 14 children. They robbed a bank, and now they lived on the Rock. The 3 men knew each other from other prisons, and now they got cells next to each other, same block, same wall. Every cell had a small air vent under the sink, and one day Morris noticed something. The concrete around his vent was old and soft. The salt air had eaten it for 30 years. That small detail started everything. A spoon. The whole plan started with a spoon. A spoon is the small metal tool you use to eat soup. You use it every day. Morris looked at a simple spoon from the dining hall, and he saw something different. He saw a tool for digging. The plan had 3 steps. Step 1. Dig a tunnel. A tunnel is a hole you dig through a wall or under the ground. Behind each cell wall there was a secret space, an old service corridor. No guards went there. If the men could dig a tunnel through the wall, they could reach that corridor. From there, they could climb up, all the way to the roof. Step 2. Fool the guards. Remember, the guards counted the prisoners 12 times a day. At night, the guards walked past the cells and looked at the beds. So the men needed fake heads. They needed dummies. A dummy is a fake person, something that looks real but is not real. They made the heads from paper, soap, and paint. And for the hair, they used real human hair from the prison barber shop. Step 3. Cross the water. For this, they needed a boat, so they built a raft. Remember, a small flat boat you make yourself. They stole more than 50 raincoats one by one. They glued the raincoats together. A raft and life vests made of raincoats. The men stole spoons. They built a small drill from an old vacuum cleaner. Every evening there was music hour in the prison. Morris played the accordion. The music was loud, and under the music, 1 second. Scrape, scrape, scrape. The digging began. One more prisoner joined the team, a man named Allen West. 4 men, 1 plan. Remember Allen West. He becomes important later. For 6 months, they dug. Night after night after night. They dug with spoons. They dug with their little drill. Slowly, the tunnels grew behind each bed. In the daytime, the men hid the holes with fake wall covers. The covers were painted to look like real concrete. The guards walked past. The guards saw nothing. And every night, the trick with the dummies worked. The guards looked into each cell. They saw a head on each pillow, hair, a face, a sleeping man. But some nights, those heads weren't real. The real men were behind the wall, digging in the dark. The dummies did their job perfectly. Up on the roof of the cell block, the men found a hidden space. It became their secret workshop. There, they built the raft, raincoat by raincoat. Then came the night. June 11th, 1962. After lights out, Morris and the Anglin brothers put the dummies in their beds. They opened their tunnels. They climbed into the dark corridor, up the pipes, onto the roof, down a 15-meter pipe on the outside wall, over 2 fences, down to the water. But wait, the team was 4 men. Allen West's tunnel was too small. He dug and dug, but he couldn't get out in time. West stayed behind. 3 men reached the water. They filled the raft with air, and they pushed into the Black Bay. The plan had worked, every step. But the sea was waiting, and the sea doesn't care about clever plans. Keep listening.
Morning, June 12th, 1962. Count time. A guard walked down the cell block. He counted the sleeping men, cell by cell. He stopped at Frank Morris's cell. Morris was still in bed. Strange. The guard called his name. Nothing. The guard reached through the bars. He touched the head. What do you think happened next? Think for 3 seconds. The head rolled off the pillow. It fell to the floor.
It wasn't a man, it was a dummy, a fake head with real human hair. The guards shouted. Alarms rang across the island. Guards ran to the other cells. 2 more dummies, 2 more empty beds. They were gone. They were gone. The prison exploded into action. The guards found the tunnels behind the beds. They found the secret corridor. On the roof, they found the workshop. And in one cell, they found Alan West, the 4th man, the one who stayed behind. West told the police everything: the spoons, the dummies, the raincoat raft, the plan to reach Angel Island across the water. Now, the biggest question: where were the 3 men? The search began. To search means to look everywhere for something or for someone, and this became one of the biggest searches in American history. Boats searched the bay, helicopters searched from the sky, soldiers searched the islands, police watched the roads, the trains, the airports. The FBI, America's top police, took the case. Hundreds of men searched the water and the land, day after day. The story jumped into every newspaper in America. 3 men beat the impossible prison. Where were they now? The whole country wanted the answer to this mystery. And the searchers found almost nothing. Almost nothing, but not nothing. The sea started to give back small pieces of the story. Almost nothing, but not nothing. The sea started to give back small pieces of the story. Day 3, a paddle. Searchers found a homemade wooden paddle floating in the bay. Just one. Then pieces of rubber, pieces of raincoat. They washed up near Angel Island. Angel Island, the exact place the men wanted to reach. Then a small plastic bag. Inside the bag, photos, letters, family addresses. The bag belonged to the Anglin brothers. It was sealed. The things inside were dry, but the bag was floating in the water, alone. And the men themselves? Nothing. No bodies, no footprints, no stolen clothes, no stolen cars, nothing at all. So the FBI looked at the facts. Fact 1, the water that night was freezing cold. Fact 2, the currents were strong. Remember, a current is the strong movement of water in the sea. The currents in the bay could carry a body far out into the Pacific Ocean. Fact 3, the men planned to steal clothes and a car on land, but no clothes were stolen, no car was stolen, no crime was reported anywhere. The FBI's answer was simple. The men drowned. The raft broke in the cold black water. The currents pulled the men under. Then the currents carried them out to sea. Case closed? Not exactly, because there was a problem. No bodies. No bodies. The bay usually gives back its dead. The water brings bodies to the shore. But this time, 3 men went into the water, and the sea returned a paddle, some rubber, and a bag of photos. Not one body, ever. And here's the other side. The swim was hard, but it wasn't impossible. Today, swimmers cross from Alcatraz to the city in races every year. So maybe, just maybe, 3 strong men on a raft made it. The FBI searched for 17 years. 17 years of reports, letters, and phone calls. People said they saw the men in Brazil, in Florida, in Mexico. The FBI checked every story. Every story died. On December 31st, 1979, the FBI closed the case. Their official answer: the 3 men drowned. But not everyone agreed.
9 months after the escape,
Alcatraz closed forever. The impossible prison was finished. Today, it's a museum. More than 1 million tourists visit every year. They all want to see one thing, the cell with the hole in the wall. The mystery grew and grew. In 1979, Hollywood made a famous movie about it, Escape from Alcatraz. The whole world learned the story, but the movie couldn't answer the big question either. The FBI closed its case in 1979, but another police agency, the U.S. Marshals, said no. They kept the case open. It is still open today. The Marshals will search until the men are 100 years old. Then something strange happened. In 2013, a letter arrived at a police station in San Francisco. The letter said, "My name is John Anglin. We all made it that night." The writer said he was old and sick. The FBI tested the letter. Fingerprints, DNA, handwriting. Inconclusive. Maybe real, maybe fake. Nobody knows. The Anglin family believes the brothers survived. They say the brothers lived in Brazil, on a farm, free men. So we end where we started. 3 men on a raft at midnight, paddling toward freedom. Freedom is when nobody controls you. You are free. Did they find their freedom? Or did they find the bottom of the sea? Did they survive the water? What do you think? Write yes or no in the comments in English. Before you go, let's check your 10 words. Did you catch them all? Prison. Alcatraz was America's most famous prison, locked on an island. Guard. The guards counted the prisoners 12 times a day. Tunnel. The men dug a tunnel through the back wall of each cell. Spoon. They dug those tunnels with simple metal spoons. Dummy. A dummy, a fake head, slept in each bed. Raft. Their raft was made of 50 stolen raincoats. Current. The cold currents in the bay were the real danger. Search. The search lasted 17 years and found no bodies. Mystery. The Alcatraz escape is still a mystery today. Freedom. 3 men risked everything for freedom. How many words did you know before this video? Tell me in the comments. You listened to a true story, and you practiced real English. Subscribe for 2 new stories every week. See you in the next case.